We face the greatest Sith in generations.
Words cannot describe my excitement for this project right now. So hey everyone, what's up? Welcome to the very first ever video that I'm doing on Knights of the Old Republic Remake. And yeah, I never thought that we would be seeing this project anytime soon. I've been desperate for years to see this series do something. Anything, just something, a new game, a remaster, I didn't really care, just something. And we finally have got some kind of project happening and in the works. I'm very happy about this. We're finally getting such a massive series in Star Wars that quite frankly is movie worth material in my eyes, actually making an appearance again in the modern day era. So the purpose of today's video is just me briefly going over some of the news that we have about this remake and exactly what's going on. I'd also like to add that if you want to watch the full reveal teaser, I will have that linked down in the description of the video if you haven't seen that yet. I will also have the blog post from Aspire, which I've taken certain quotes from for this video, down in the description, so you can go and read up everything that they have said about the project so far. I'm going to be briefly going over it in this video after all. Also, if you guys would like to see a video where I talk about all the things that I would like to see in a Knights of the Old Republic remake, as well as potentially a Knights of the Old Republic 2 remake, then let me know down in the comment section and I'll make a video of that. Alright, so the first things first, this remake is being made by Aspire. A lot of people are probably thinking right now, who's Aspire? Alright, so Aspire is a Texas games company who's actually been working on Star Wars games for a very long time now. Granted that they haven't made any Star Wars games from the ground up themselves other than this project, which I'll get to in a minute. They have made multiple ports of original Star Wars games from the past, and what they've done is brought multiple of these old Star Wars games to modern day platforms such as the PlayStation 4 and the Nintendo Switch. Some of these games include Star Wars Episode 1 Racer, Star Wars Republic Commando, Star Wars Jedi Knight Jedi Outcast, and Star Wars Jedi Knight Jedi Academy. They've also brought some of these Star Wars games to mobile, which includes Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 1 and Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2. And then the other big project that they did, which was a huge deal back in the days, was they sorted out Knights of the Old Republic 2 on Steam. What do I mean by they sorted it out? They fixed the game so that it works properly, they added in higher resolution support, they added in controller support, they even added in a workshop so that we could put the restore content mod and other mods onto the game with ease, and they even added in achievements just for the sake of it. So yes, Aspire has had a fair amount of experience with the Star Wars games. However, Aspire has never made a full project from the ground up. They've only ever dealt with ports in the past. This is the first time where Aspire is actually going to be creating a project fully from the ground up, meaning that this game really is a make or break game for Aspire when it comes to their future in developing AAA projects further on. This also means that Aspire is going to take this project very seriously because this is their first ever game from the ground up and they need to get it right, and they are fully aware of that. First things first, I want to clear something up that I think a lot of people are really getting confused over, and there's a bit of misinformation going around about this point. So the main point is, and I'm quoting this, we will see the classic RPG return as a PlayStation 5 console exclusive at launch and for PC. A lot of people have interpreted this in multiple ways, this line. This is the way I have interpreted it, and this is the way I believe it is meant to be interpreted. PlayStation 5 console users will be the people that will get this at launch along with PC users. So if you are playing on a PlayStation 5 or a PC, at the launch of the game, you will both be able to play this at launch. However, if you are on different consoles such as the Xbox Series X or the Nintendo Switch, if it is planned to come to that console, you will have to wait until you can play this game. While I do not like console exclusivity and I'm very much against this, I do also have to say that the likelihood is that if it is coming to the Xbox Series X, which I believe it will be, and the Nintendo Switch, which I'm not sure if it will be or not, then it will most likely come out a year later for those two console platforms. However, also carrying on with that exclusivity point, I do want to actually point out that there is something that is really good to hear about with this exclusivity deal, meaning that it is actually being used for a decent purpose. This is taking another quote here. Sony Interactive Entertainment is a creative collaborator in the project, working closely on development with Aspire and Lucasfilm Games, particularly on how to take full advantage of its newest cutting-edge platform platform. This means that Sony is actually helping with the exclusivity of this project. This is not just a general game project that's going to be exclusive for the sake of being exclusive because Sony has paid some extra money for it and that's that. No, this is going further than that. This is Sony actually stepping in and helping with the development of the project with Aspyr and Lucasfilm Games. This is something that Sony, in my view, doesn't do too frequently, so the fact that they're actually doing this and helping out with the project is actually a very big deal. What is also nice about this is it means that this game will not be held back by last generation, and it will also mean that the game will be taking full advantage of all the new technology available currently on current generation consoles and of course PC. This brings me on to my next point when it comes to this game, which again, quoting here once more, we really appreciate the stature it has with all of our fans out there. As hardware advances and as our game making prowesses advances and as storytelling techniques advance, what better time to allow players to re-experience this great story with all of those lessons learned and bring it back to a modern platform using modern methods. So again, this basically solidifies my point from earlier that Aspyr here is deciding to take all the modern day practices in order to do this game. This is good when it comes to the technology side, and it means that they're going to be advancing this game in a big way for the current generation, and it actually means that the game will really be making good use of the cutting edge technology available. There is another point that I do want to bring in here, which is really the modern day storytelling technique. Now, this is the thing. The story is, of course, impactful. And it was. Back in the days, this was a huge deal, this story, for Knights of the Old Republic 1, and it was quite a groundbreaking story, with an incredible twist to it. Of course, I'm not going to spoil it, because I don't want to ruin it for everyone that hasn't played the game yet. This means that you do not want to mess around with this story too much at all. And that is something that Aspyr needs to get right with this project. This is the most important point out of any other point, quite frankly, with this project. They must get the story right. This means that the story should not be changed a lot. And if you do change it, you've got to change it for the right reasons. There's no point just changing something in the story for the sake of changing it. It needs to be changed because it has a purpose for being changed. Because it wasn't that great in the past, or it could be done far better by today's standards. All I could see them doing is either adding more to the story, as there are parts during the game where there could be a little bit more going on, it has to be said, so I could see them adding more to the story there, or they'll be adding more when it comes to side quests and things. And one thing that I personally would quite like to see in a remake of Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, and like I said, I'll do a separate video for this, of course, with for points. The thing that I loved about Knights of the Old Republic 2 is the fact that they brought back some of the planets from Knights of the Old Republic 1 and showed us how the impacts of the war basically during Knights of the Old Republic 1 had been made some impacts on those planets later on, years later, and it just showed us what was going on those planets and how life had advanced. This would be great to see within a Knights of the Old Republic 1 remake, as we would then be able to see what some of these planets from Knights of the Old Republic 2 were like before the events of Knights of the Old Republic 2 actually happening. Also, another thing that they could do with the storytelling front is do even more story impacts with the actual party members that you have throughout the game. Something that I loved about the second game was the influence choice that you had, where you could influence each party member depending on your choices that you made, which would then give them a different story arc. This is something that wasn't present inside the Knights of the Old Republic 1. While yes, they had story arcs to them, the party members, it was not done in the same sense as in Knights of the Old Republic 2, where this system was really fleshed out and actually felt very impactful each time you made these choices. This is something that they could do again here with Knights of the Old Republic 1. Finally, this brings me on to my last point, and that is the development team behind the project. And again, I'm going to take two quotes here about this. So the first quote, speaking for the development team, most of us are AAA RPG developers. This already shows that we actually have a team that is fully dedicated from RPG developers for the most part. This is a big deal. Knights of the Old Republic is an RPG. It's one of the biggest RPGs of all time back in its time time period and one that really made a massive impact in that area. You're going to want to have RPG developers as a part of it. This then brings me on to this second quote. We've assembled a prolific group of some of gaming's top RPG developers, including those with direct experience working on Star Wars games and video game remakes. Many of us previously worked at BioWare, with credits going back to the original KOTOR. To further bolster that, we've added some amazing developers from games like Demon's Souls Remake and Ghost of Tsushima, and our narrative team is fantastic with years of storytelling experience across Star Wars games and comics. Again, the team here is sounding pretty damn great in my opinion. Not only have we got RPG developers here, we've actually got members who worked on the original game coming back here to work on this remake. This is a good sign. It means that they will be able to share their experience of what they did in the past with the game and try and keep that with the new team, while also making sure that the new team doesn't try to go overboard and ruin what made the original perfect in the first place. So the team here is sounding great and I'm very happy about this. Also, just to add to the end bit there where they talked about the Star Wars games and comics members, this is also great because not only have you got members who have made other Star Wars games so they know how to make a Star Wars game coming back here, but you also even have the comic writers coming here, and hopefully they might even have some of the comic writers who wrote the Knights of the Old Republic comics or books coming here to actually help with this, because that would be great as well. We are going to see future updates, I'm sure, either at the end of this year or next year, probably on May the 4th, and I'm sure they will have some awesome stuff to show then. Of course, I will be keeping everybody up to date in regards to what's going on with this project, as I am super excited for this and it's a big deal to me, and I want this project to succeed and become an incredible game out there as a remake for this incredible game that existed in the past. I want others out there who never got the chance to experience the incredible game that was Knights of the Old Republic in the past to be able to experience it now, and I know that it's a pain to be able to play this game nowadays, and especially on PC where the port is quite broken. However, I will mention quickly briefly, if you are trying to play Knights of the Old Republic 1 on PC and you're having trouble, or you want to play it at a high resolution like 4K or whatever, I've made a guide on how to do this, so if you wish to be able to do that yourselves, then please do actually go down in the description of this video and watch that guide video, and it will tell you how to set up the game properly and make sure that everything is working okay. It's helped out countless others, and I'm happy to help out everyone that's trying to play that game because it's an incredible game that everyone should be able to experience. If any of the development team are watching from Aspire as well, then I wish you all the best with the rest of the project. I'll be keeping a good eye on this project, and I'm really hoping that you guys will have some awesome stuff to show very soon with us. And of course, I'll keep you all up to date with what's going on with this project for the future. But otherwise, I hope you guys found this informative and useful. If you wanted to read the full article of what Aspire has said about the game, then it will be linked down in the description as well. And other than that, I hope to see you guys in the next Star Wars video very soon. See you all then.
That is what the Sith believe. They promise power. Now they wield it. We face the greatest Sith in generations. They must be stopped.